everyone, this is going to be the video accompaniment for the Celeste cable top. So first, we're going to talk about the parts of this top and the things that you need to measure. So for the first measurement, or for the first part, it's going to be this area. So this little square or rectangle here is going to be our first part, and you're going to measure from here to here. So it's the middle of your bust to the other side of the middle of your bust. Now for the side, this part is going to be from the middle of your bust up to the side of your back. Next is going to be the length of this, which is going to be from your underarm up to where you want this part to be, so somewhere above the belly button. And lastly, for this part, it should be from the underarm up to the center of your shoulder. For the materials, we're going to need a 2.5mm hook, a fingering weight yarn, double pulled, which means you put two strands together, or a sport weight yarn, single pulled, so with just one strand. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using this rust color, which is a sport weight yarn. Other than that, you're also going to need a tapestry needle, as well as some stitch markers if you want to be sure of the placement of things. So let's discuss the parts, or the order of the parts in which we will make this top. The first part is this square here, and then we're going to proceed with these two straight cables. And then afterwards, we're going to this side with decreases, half double crochet, back loop only, and then this one is increases. Then we're going to chain up with the same length as this one in the front, and then with a little bit of extra here. So we're going to do the same, back loop, half double crochet, and then we're going to go a bit down, and then this is just going to be straight, and then we're going to go up again, and then do this until here. And once we are done with that, we're going to attach the yarn here and do the same thing as we did as the other part, and then we're going to join this with the front with single crochets, or if you want, you can also use a tapestry needle to join the two. And then we're going to go down and complete these double crochet band here, and then afterwards we're going to do this mini rib part at the bottom band that goes all around. Finally, we're going to be single crocheting all around this, and this. To explain further what this top entails, it's going to be an odd number of cables. When I say a set of cables, it means one round of this crisscrossing cables and 2 rounds of these straighter cables. So you're gonna get what it means later on. So it's gonna be an odd number, so your starting chain must be 6 multiplied by an odd number. Okay, so for this one, this is for size medium, I used 11 cables, so it was 6 times 11, so my starting chain was 66 plus the 3 chains that I used to make the first double crochet. So for 11 cables, I'm going to be multiplying 6 by 11, so that's a total of 66 chains. If you want a smaller size, you can go 6 times 9, which is 54, or even smaller, so that's going to be 6 times 7. And then if you want to go larger, it's going to be 6 times 13 or 6 times 15. So it's always 6 multiplied by an odd number, and then do 3 extra chains at the end of the row. So now that I have 66 chains on my hook, I'm going to be doing an extra chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And on the 4th chain from my hook, I'm going to be doing a double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. and then just do double crochets until you reach the end. So now I have 66 double crochets. I'm going to be chaining 2, 1, 2, turning my work around, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet in the first chain. And then we're going to proceed with the front post double crochets in sets of 4. So we're going to be doing 4 of these, so that's 1, 2. So you're just going to be, instead of inserting it here at the hole on top, we're going to be inserting it here at the back. Okay, 3, and 4. So now that we have 4 posts, we're going to be doing 2 normal double crochets. So as not to be confused, let's look at the back. So this is where your first double crochet was, and then we did 4 front post double crochet, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the 5th one, which is this one, we're going to be doing 2 normal double crochets, and then we're going to be doing again 4 front post double crochets, so insert it at the back and do your double crochet as you normally would. So we're just going to be doing this for the entire round until you reach the end, and then we're gonna end with just 1 single double crochet as we did here in the front. Okay, so I have 4 front post double crochets. I'm gonna be doing 2 normal double crochets. So just repeat this enough times until you reach the end. And to check whether you're doing the correct thing or not, once you reach the end, you must have the same number of sets of these as your intended number of cables. So if you multiplied 6 by 11, then you should have 11 sets of these front post double crochets. So I just finished my 11 sets of front post double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm gonna finish with a double crochet at the end. Okay, I'm going to be chaining 2, and again I'm gonna do a normal double crochet at the beginning, and instead of doing front posts double crochet, what we're gonna be doing is back post double crochet. So turn your work and then look for the first front post double crochet that we did. So it's this one. So you're gonna insert your hook just like that, okay? And you're gonna be doing your double crochet as you normally would. Let's do that again. So wrap your yarn around the hook, insert it, and do your double crochet as you normally would. So we're just going to be following the pattern that was previously set. So that is groups of 4 back loop double crochets and 2 normal double crochets in the middle. So just keep doing this until you reach the end of the round. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that one more time with you, and I'm gonna meet you back here once I've finished my entire round. So I just finished my entire row of 11 sets, and finally I'm going to be ending with, again, 1 normal double crochet. chain 2 and turn. Start with 1 double crochet, and this is how your work should look like from the front. So there's some texture going on already, right? So this is the part that I was telling you about a while ago, where there is one post in the middle. This is the middle, and the rest of the pattern just mirrors each other. I'm going to be starting with the twisted cables. So this is going to be what we call the cable stitch. So we're going to do a treble crochet, front post treble crochet. So wrap your yarn around the hook twice, and instead of going into the first one, we're going to be going into the third post. And we're just gonna do our treble crochet as we normally would. And we're gonna do another one on the fourth post. Now for the third one, for it to twist, we're going to be doing a treble, front post treble crochet at the first post. So insert your yarn there. Pull it up so that it's in line with this, and do your treble crochet as you normally would. Let's do that one more time for the fourth one. So you're gonna insert it at the second post, pull it up, and do your treble crochet as you normally would. So now that we're done with this, it's kind of hard to see it still, but it's gonna get clearer once we build up on this round. So now we're gonna do 2 normal double crochets, and then for the straight cables we're just going to do this same thing. So front post double crochet again, and we just alternate that until we reach the end of the round. So let me just finish this straight cable, and I'm gonna show you how to do the treble crochet one more time. So 4 front post double crochets, and then we're gonna do 2 normal double crochets, and then the front post treble crochets for the twisted cables. So insert your yarn there, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Do it one more time on the fourth post, pull through 2. Now we're going to be inserting this into the first front post, pull it up, and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through the last 2. Once more, we're going to be doing that in the second post. Pull that up, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and the 2 normal crochets in the middle. So we're just going to be alternating this pattern until we reach the end. So that's going to be twisted, straight, twisted, straight, twisted, straight, twisted, straight. So I just ended my row with 1 double crochet, and this is how it looks like right now. So we're gonna be chaining 2 again as you started. 1, 2, turn your work around and start with the first double crochet. Now we're just gonna be doing simple straight back loop, back post double crochets, but you're gonna have to be careful with this part. So it's kind of hard to see which one is the first part that you have to insert your hook in, but just remember to look at this top part. So since this is the first chain, this is where you will first insert your back loop double crochet. So that's the first one, followed by this second one. And the third one is 1, 2, 3. So it's this one, right? And the fourth one is this one. Again, putting 2 double crochets in the middle. And this straight one would just be straight all throughout. So I'm putting 4 back post double crochets into this. Followed by the 2 normal double crochets. And then again we're gonna do it together. So this is the first one, second, third, fourth, and we're just gonna be doing that same thing throughout the entire round. So this is what it looks like from the front right now. As you can see, compared to this part where the crosses are not that visible, once you put the straight back post double crochet, the crosses are going to start to be more visible. So we're just going to be continuing doing so until we reach the end of the round. Okay, so now that we're done with our normal back post double crochets, we're gonna proceed and do front post double crochets. So we did 2 straight posts here and then 1 twisted, and then we're gonna proceed with, this is the first and this is gonna be the second straight cables. So we're just gonna do that. Make sure that you are getting your hook into the correct round instead of the one before it. So after 4 front post double crochets, we're gonna put 2 in the middle and then work with 4 front post double crochets and 2 in the middle until you reach the end. So now that we're done with our straight cables, it's time for another round of twisted cables. But this time, instead of doing it from the front, we're gonna do it from the back. So bear with me. So we did our chain 2 and then the first double crochet, and we're gonna do our first twist. So as usual, same as the front post treble crochets, we're gonna wrap our yarn around the hook twice, and then we're gonna insert it on the third post. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So this is the third post. So we're gonna insert it the same as usual. And then on the fourth post, and now, since we're doing the cross, we're gonna insert it on the first post. But instead of doing this, like how we normally do it, we're gonna do it from the inside. So wrap our yarn around the hook twice, and then kind of just pull this down, insert it in the first post, and there you go. And then do your treble crochet as you normally would. Now for the second one, we're gonna put it in the second post, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's this post. Okay, so we're just gonna put it through, and there you go. So that's our cross. So as you can see, it looks like the one here, but opposite sides. Now we're gonna do our normal double crochets twice in the middle. And as usual, since this is a straight column, we're just going to do the straight cables. So just your normal back post double crochets. Again, 2 normal double crochets in the middle. And we're gonna do the back post crossed cables one more time. So wrap it twice, insert this on the third post. So as you can see here, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we insert it here as normal. Insert it in the fourth post. And now we're gonna insert it in the first post, so this one. Okay, so there you go. Pull and do your treble crochet as you normally would. One last, so insert it in the second post. And do your treble crochet as normal. And so we're just gonna be alternating these two until we reach the end. So this is how it should look like from the front. Same as a while ago, the crosses are not that visible yet, but it will be more visible as we go through more rounds. Okay? Okay, so we are now done with all those twisted cables. Chain 2. Our first normal double crochet, and now we're just gonna be doing straight cables. So we have to look at the first, second, third, and fourth stitches. So this is the first, this is the second, third, and fourth. Okay, so let's look at that again. This is the first, so just look at the top. This is the second, third, and fourth. So we're going to be doing our front post double crochets in that order. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 front post double crochets that are straight. So we're gonna put 2 double crochets in the middle and then proceed with front post double crochets for the rest of the round. Okay, so now we're done with our front loop double crochets. As you can see, the twists are starting to show more. We're gonna do 1 round of back loop, back post double crochet. I keep interchanging those 2 terms. So we're just going to do straight back loop, back post double crochets until we reach the end. Of course, with these 2 normal double crochets in the middle. So now that we are done with our back post double crochets, this is what it looks like. And essentially, this is the pattern that you're going to be following for the rest of the rows until you reach your upper bust. So it starts with this front twist, and then followed by 2 straight posts, and then another twist but made from the back, and then 2 rows of straight posts. Okay, so that's what you're gonna be doing for the next. So the things that you have to remember are, you start and end with 1 double crochet. These columns alternate between twisted and straight, and there are 2 normal double crochets in between these columns. So for the straight columns, there are no twists. It's all just straight back post or front post double crochets. Whereas for these columns, for the rounds that are twisted, it's gonna be a treble crochet instead of a double crochet. So let me just take you through that pattern one more time, and I'm gonna leave you with it until we reach the top. Okay, so we begin with 2 chains and a double crochet. So first is a twist, so it's going to be a treble crochet on the 3rd post instead of the 1st post. So the next one is on the 4th post. The next will be on the 1st post. Pull that up and do your treble crochet as normal. And the 4th one will be inserted into the 2nd post. Pull that up and do your treble crochet as normal. And you're gonna do 2 normal double crochets, and this one would be just straight. So for the next row, it's going to be back post double crochets for the twisted column, and for this column it's just going to be straight again as well. So that's 1, 2. So remember to look at which chain goes first. 3 and 4. So after one straight one, we're gonna do another straight one, this time from the front. So we just follow these posts and we do 1, 2, 3, and 4 posts. Next, since we're done with our 2 straight posts, it's time to do another twist, but this time from the back. So treble crochet on the 3rd post, another treble crochet on the 4th post, next we're gonna treble on the 1st post, but we're gonna insert the hook inside instead of outside. Okay, so on this 1st post, and insert that hook there. Pull it up and do your treble crochet as normal. Next, it's gonna be on the 2nd post from the inside, so there, and pull it up and do your treble crochet as normal. So again, we finish with 1 double crochet. For the next round, we do straight cables. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the 6th and last round in the pattern, and then afterwards you're just going to repeat the same thing for the rest of the rows. So this is another normal back post double crochet without any twists. So this is essentially the pattern that you will follow in order to create alternating columns of twisted and straight cables all throughout the row. So that's a total of 6 rows. So it starts with 1 twisted with treble crochets, 2 straights with double crochets, another twisted but from the back with treble crochets, and another 2 rows of straight with double crochets. So we're just going to be following that pattern all throughout until you reach your desired length. So now that I am satisfied with the length of my middle portion, we are now going to do the strap. So do not fasten off, and we will be continuing on doing these 2 on this side and then these 2 on this side. So we're just going to follow the same pattern that we did for these. So there will be crosses on this part, and this one is just going to be straight, and we're going to include the double crochet here at the right side and these 2 double crochets here. So that's what we're gonna do. And remember that when you're looking at the length of your middle part, that there will still be ribbing, so be careful in your counting. So now we're gonna be doing the strap. So let me just show you how to do it. So we're gonna do our double crochet, and then following this pattern, so this one is the crisscross row, and then this is a straight row, so we're gonna be doing 1 more straight row. So what you're gonna do here for the strap is based on where you stopped in the pattern. So just follow that. 2 double crochets in the middle, and another 4 since we're doing 2 columns, and then we're going to include the 2 double crochets here. So after that, instead of going through the entire round, we're gonna chain 2 instead, and we're not gonna count that as the first double crochet. So we're gonna do 2 double crochets, and then so this one is just straight, so we're gonna do 4 straight front post double crochets, and then the 2 double crochets in the middle. And since looking at this pattern, so this is the cross, and then there are 2 straight rows. So now we're going to be doing the cross row. So basically we're just going to be following the pattern from the previous rounds, but the main difference is we're just working on 2 columns instead of the entire row. So we're gonna do this until you reach your desired length. So that's from the upper bust to your shoulder, or if you want to adjust the length, that is also okay. So we're just gonna continue building this up. Okay, so now I am satisfied with the length of my sleeve. We are gonna end with 13 single crochets following the amount of stitches that we have. So chain 1, turn. It doesn't matter which side you end up on. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Oops. And we're gonna chain 1, and fasten that off. Now we're going to move on to the other side. So now we're going to be attaching our yarn to the other corner with a slip stitch and chain 2, and we're going to proceed to do the same thing. So we start with 1 double crochet, and then we just follow this pattern, 2 double crochets in the middle, these straight cables, and then another 2 double crochets until we reach the same number of stitches as this part. And then again, we're gonna end with single crochets on top, and then we're going to be fastening it off. Hi guys, so I just finished with my strap. I already fastened off, and I just want to make sure that you guys measure this part against your body one more time before we take the measurement for this part. So I want you guys to stretch this out a little bit, because when you wear it, it's gonna be stretched out a little bit, and then measure from where it ends up to your back. So that's what we're going to do. And then for this next part, we're gonna be doing half double crochet back loops only. So we're gonna be making it in a dipping style. So first we're gonna decrease, and then we're gonna increase, and then we're gonna match the length of this strap. So what we're gonna do first is take your measurement that you got from measuring where this ends up to your back part and divide that by 2. So that's gonna be the length of your decreasing part. And then we copy that length for the increasing part, and the total would be the entire length that you measured a while ago. So again, it's gonna be divided by 2, so you can measure the decreasing part and then the increasing part. So after taking the measurements, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna attach our yarn to this corner, and we're gonna go up with single crochets up to the top. So how do we measure this? We just take the measurement of our underarm, and we do 1 single crochet until we reach our desired measurement. Now, since this part was measured against your upper bust in line with your underarm, usually what I just do is I go down 1 or 2 sets. So this is 1 set and this is another set of patterns. So I'm gonna stop here or here. It's all up to you really, but just remember that this part goes down. So you may just want to keep that in mind in deciding where to end. So we're gonna be doing single crochets all across. So after attaching your yarn, chain 1, and we're gonna be doing 2 single crochets for every double crochet post. So that's 1. So I'd like to also bring these 2 tails so as to reduce the time in weaving the ends later. So that's 1 and another 1, 2. Let me show that. So this is 1 post, right? So we're gonna be doing 2 single crochets in this post. 3, 4. So make sure you remember the number of single crochets in this part, because that's what we're gonna be doing on the other side as well. So I decided to end mine just 1 set below this line, so I ended up with 61 single crochets in total. So just keep that number in mind, the number of single crochets that you made. Like, write it down on a piece of paper so that you can come back to it later on when we do the other side. So as you can see from this side, the end is perfectly hidden, so you don't need to weave in the ends later on. So what we're gonna do with this part is we're gonna do chain 2, and we're gonna go with back loop half double crochets all throughout the entire round until the end. So you can count 61 half double crochets. So what do I mean by back loop? you only, instead of inserting your yarn through both of these, you only insert it at the back loop. So you just insert it here. And then we just do our half double crochet as we normally would. So again, instead of inserting it here, you insert it right here. So we're just gonna do half double crochets until we reach the end. So I'm done with this row, and you know that you made the back loop correctly if you can see this line on your work. So now that we've reached the end, we're going to chain 2 and just half double crochet until you have the last 2 stitches on your work left. Okay, so now I have my last 2 stitches right here. So we're gonna half double crochet these 2 together. So what I like to do is wrap your yarn around the hook, insert at the back loop, and get it. And we're gonna be inserting it here again. And then we're gonna be pulling through all 4 loops. So now this row has to be decreased by 1. So when you count the number of stitches needed for the next round, it's gonna be the starting number minus 1. So in my case, I started with 61, so for this next round it's gonna be just 60. So we're just gonna do the same thing for the next round. So we're gonna have 60 half double crochets all the way to the end, and then we're gonna chain 2 and then half double crochet, back loop only, all the way to the other end until there are 2 stitches left. So let's just all do that, and I'm gonna come back when I am done. So again, we now have the last 2 remaining stitches. So we're gonna half double crochet the 2 together again using this method and pull through all 4 loops. So this was 60 across. This one is 59 because we decreased, so the next one will be 59 again. So we're just gonna be doing this until we reach the half of the original measurement that you did before. So far this is what it looks like. Hi guys, so now I'm already satisfied with the width of my the half of the side. So after all these decreases, now we're gonna be increasing. So I did 8 of these, and then we're just gonna go ahead and chain 2 and put 2 back loop half double crochets in the very first stitch, and then we're just gonna go down again, and I'm gonna meet you back here when I am done with this. So I finished that round all the way here. We're just gonna chain 2, and then we're gonna do back loop half double crochets all the way until the end, and with the last stitch we will end with 2 half double crochets instead of 1. So I have my last stitch left, so we're gonna go ahead and do 2 back loop half double crochets, chain 2, turn, and then we're gonna do 1 back loop half double crochets all the way around, and then we're just gonna repeat. So whenever you end on the top part of your top, that's when you increase, and we're gonna do the same number of rows that we did here. So I did 8, so I'm gonna do 8 rows with alternating increasing and same stitches. So now I'm done with both my decreases and increases, so it formed that kind of a V shape. We're gonna go ahead and chain up until the length of the chain becomes equal to your strap. So I have some chains now. Let's see if they're already equal. So you can fold it right in the middle of your increases and decreases. So now I think that these 2 are already of equal length, I'm gonna do an extra chain 2, and then I'm gonna make half double crochets until I reach this portion. So now I have finished making half double crochets throughout the chains that we made. We're just gonna continue with our back loop half double crochets from where we left off a while ago. So we're just gonna be going downwards with half double crochets, and then after this, when we reach this end, we're just gonna be chaining 2 again, and then we're gonna back loop half double crochet until we reach this part without any increases or decreases. So it's just gonna be the same amount of stitches. So I'll meet you back here once you have 7 rows of these back loop half double crochets, including this round. So now I'm done with 7 of these rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I ended up at the bottom. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crochet until we reach the top with just 5 stitches left to spare. So we started from the bottom with chain 2, and we're gonna make back loop half double crochets all throughout the entire row until we have 5 stitches left to spare. So now I'm finished with my row and there are 5 stitches left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're just gonna stop here and then chain 2 and go on to the next round. And the next round is basically just gonna be another set of back loop half double crochets with the same amount of stitches as the one that we just did. And we're just gonna be repeating that. So it's just gonna be a straight block. So until we reach this part. Okay? So we're gonna be doing the same thing over and over again until we reach that same width. Now I'm finished with my equal stitches. As you can see, when you fold it, it's up to right where the strap would start. So here I folded it in the middle, and then since we did this for the other strap, we're gonna be doing that here again. So once you end, you should end at the top. So I'm gonna start on this top part with chain 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm gonna put an extra 2 for the starting chain of the next one, and then I'm gonna insert my hook on the third. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just gonna do half double crochets and 5. And after these 5, I'm just gonna continue again downwards. So I'm gonna put 1 half double crochet in each of these ones. And again, remember to just insert it at the back loop. So we're gonna be doing that all the way down here, and we're gonna be doing this for 7 rows, just as we did for this part. So now I'm done with my 7 rows and I ended at the bottom. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this part. So remember a while ago I made you guys take down how much your starting stitches was? Mine was 61. So I'm just gonna do a chain 2 here, and I'm gonna have 61 half double crochets back loop only. So now I'm done with the 61 stitches. So this is what it looks like. It just goes up until here. So we're gonna just basically do what we did here. So we're gonna decrease for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then after 8, we're gonna increase, or depending on what you did for this part, you're gonna be doing the same thing for this part. So it's gonna depend on your size. But for me, I did 8 rows of decreases and 8 rows of increases. So again, when we're here at the top side, that's when we're gonna do our increases and decreases. So now I'm done with my 8 rows of decreases. I'm gonna go ahead and do my increases just as I did in the previous part. So I'm just gonna chain 2 and half double crochet all the way to the top. And since we're ending at the top portion, we're gonna put 2 half double crochets at the last stitch of this one, and then for the next round it's just gonna be half double crochets all throughout, and then we're gonna alternate with increases and with just normal stitches until we reach the same amount of rows as what we did with this one and with this one. So now I've finished my increase and decrease rows and I ended up at the bottom. I'm gonna chain 1 and fasten off. So basically now the entire panel is done, and we're gonna be attaching this one to the front. But before that, remember how we made single crochets here a while ago and I asked you to count how many? So mine was the same number as this, it's 61. So we're just gonna face the front side. Take your yarn, and we're gonna crochet 61 single crochets into this, and make sure that it will end at the same place as where this ended up. I'm just making sure that this is the same place where I attach my yarn in the other side. So I'm gonna attach my yarn here and I'm gonna make 61 single crochets all the way down. So now I have reached the bottom and I'm gonna so now we're facing the right side, right? So we're gonna turn this so that we're facing the wrong side. So we're just gonna fold that and then we're gonna join it. So facing the wrong side, we're gonna join these two together with single crochets. So now that I've folded that up, we're just gonna take these two ends. You have to chain 1 first and then take these loops, insert and make a single crochet. So again, front loop and the back loop, and make a single crochet until you reach the top. So I have reached the end and I'm just gonna chain 1 and fasten off. Now we're still looking at the inside, so the back side. We're gonna take our straps, this raised portion of the back, and again we're gonna use the same technique in putting these two together, or if you're more comfortable with a needle, and that is perfectly fine as well, but I just do this for convenience. So we're gonna attach our yarn the back loop with a chain 1, and then I'm just gonna use again the front loop. If you want to put stitch markers here to make it more comfortable, that is also fine. And I'm just gonna make single crochets all throughout. After this, we're gonna fasten off and do the other side. One and fasten off. So we're just gonna do the same thing for the other side, and I will come back once that is done. So now that everything is attached, we're just gonna turn our work inside out and see what that looks like. So now it looks like a working top, but what we're gonna do next is we're gonna be doing the bottom ribbing. But before we do that, we're gonna make double crochets all the way around here. So you can just pick wherever you want to start. Maybe you can start somewhere at the back or in one of these stitches. Just attach your yarn somewhere. I think I'm gonna be starting at the back so that it can't be seen from the front. We're just gonna attach this and we're gonna make 2 chains because we're gonna be using double crochets. So we're just gonna put alternating sequence 1 double crochet per single post, and then we're gonna put 2 in the next, and then just 1 in the subsequent one. And then 2 in the next until we reach the part where we have these double crochets. So when we reach this part, it's gonna be 1 double crochet per single stitch, and then when we reach this part again, we're gonna do the alternating 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets in a single post. So I'm gonna meet you back here once I am done with this. So we're just gonna join this with the very first double crochet that we made with a slip stitch, and we're gonna be chaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we have chained 8. This is where we're gonna do the bottom ribbing part. So we're gonna insert our hook on the 3rd chain, and we're gonna continue with half double crochets all the way down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 half double crochets all the way down, and we're gonna skip 1 chain and we're gonna insert this on the 2nd chain. Okay, and then we're gonna slip stitch here, and then we're gonna make another slip stitch, so that's counting as our 2 chains. We're gonna turn our work and continue with the back loop only half double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're gonna chain 2, back loop half double crochet 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, so this is where we slip stitch a while ago. We're gonna skip 1 and we're gonna slip stitch at the next stitch, and then again slip stitch twice for our chain 2, and we're gonna flip it and make 6 half double crochets, back loop only. So we're gonna keep doing this until we finish the entire round, and I'm gonna meet you back here once I am done with that. So now I'm done with the ribbing part, and I've already slip stitched here at the bottom, so we're facing the right side. I'm gonna flip over and turn it over to the wrong side or the inside, and I'm just gonna make slip stitches all around to close this part up. So again, I'm using the outer loops. So that's front loop for this side that's near to you, and then the back loop of this other side. And after that, just chain one and fasten off. So as I mentioned a while ago, at the beginning of this video, you can attach your yarn here, chain one, and single crochet all the way around, and then we're gonna do it for this side as well, and then this side as well. So just remember that when you're dealing with double crochets, you're gonna have to put 2 single crochets in each of these posts, and when you're dealing with half double crochets, you can alternate one post in 1 single crochet in a post and then 2 single crochets in the next post and alternate it. However, I'm okay with my top looking like this. I don't really mind if I don't have the single crochets outside. So basically I am done. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you guys understood this pattern and hope you had fun making it. So yeah.